Austin in the summer of 1980 during a record heat wave with no job, no car, and no money. I was 22, I had a sense of adventure, and I was absolutely sure that everything was going to turn out just fine. I did have a place to live lined up. I assumed it would have furniture and air conditioning. And when I got here, turned out I was wrong about the furniture. And the air conditioning. My first night in Austin, it was a miserable 101 degrees. So I opened the window of my bedroom with no bed in it, hoping for a breeze, and in crawled the first cockroach I had ever seen. It was as big as a hot dog bun. Apparently the universe had not gotten the memo that I was about to jump, and it was supposed to catch me. Just a few days later, I got a job, and that's where I met Gary. He was an older man. He was 28. He had looks, he had charm, and that was just the beginning. When he found out I didn't have any furniture, he made a few calls, borrowed a pickup truck, and he rounded up a table, a dresser, and a bed for me. We ate lunch together every day, and I fell hopelessly in love with him. Perhaps the universe was going to catch me after all. On the 4th of July, Gary invited me to a picnic with his friends. The gay pride picnic sign at the entrance of City Park did not give me a clue. Meeting half a dozen of his gay friends who looked just like him did not give me a clue. Did I get a clue? Oh yeah, when he looked me straight in the eye and said, "Amy, I'm gay." And in a way, nothing had changed. I still loved Gary, Gary still loved me, but I was still in love with Gary, and Gary would never be in love with me. One Saturday morning, Gary called me and said, "I need a favor. I went to Houston last night, I brought somebody home with me, and I forgot I had to work this morning. Could you entertain him?" This won't be awkward at all. I said, "Sure, send him over." Gary said, "Great. Oh, there's one more thing. He doesn't speak English." The guy who showed up on my front lawn 10 minutes later was drop-dead gorgeous. He had this whole exotic, other side of the world, olive skin, jet black hair, flashing white teeth thing going on, and he was as fit as a wild animal. I couldn't breathe. Then I remembered he was gay, and I was just going to be his babysitter, and I started breathing again. I am Amy. My house is hot. Let's walk. I am Abraham. I am speaking some English, and I'm not deaf. We headed for the hike and bike trail. For the next 2 hours, we walked and talked about his favorite food, and the music he liked, and movies, and cars, and dogs, and I looked intently into his deep, dark, brown eyes the entire time. Abraham was a really good sport about everything. At one point, he tried to tell a joke, and all of the humor was lost in translation. And we had a good laugh over how funny it wasn't. At another point, he asked me, "How pound are you?" And I said, "I weigh 105 pounds, which was a lot." And he said, "I think I'm pounding more." Finally, we sat down in the shade. Abraham said, "We should not be getting along." I said, "Why not?" "I am from Iran. You are a Jew." "I just met you today, and I like everything about you." A lot. And then, in the dearest, sweetest gesture of friendship, he slipped his hand into mine, as if to say, I appreciate everything you've done. He was still holding my hand when the fingers of his other hand touched my wrist and continued up my arm, past the crook of my elbow, up to my neck, and into my hair. And that's when I realized that Abraham wasn't gay. Thank you, universe. It turned out that 10 years earlier, back in 1970, back when Gary and Abraham were both in high school, Gary went to Iran as an exchange student, and he lived with Abraham and his family. Gary and Abraham got to be as close as brothers. Then, years later, when things got bad in Iran, Abraham wrote to Gary and said, "I wish to come to the United States. Would you be willing to sponsor me?" And of course, Gary said, of course. The story of the summer I was 22 may seem like nothing more than a series of blunders and bad judgment calls. But when I look back on it, I am nothing but proud that once upon a time I was 22 and fearless, and I had an open mind and an open heart. I'm proud and I am grateful for the one true thing I learned that summer. It may not happen when you think it will, or how you think it will, but if you jump, the universe will catch you.